So, like, really, we're going to just act like it's normal, and we're just going to kind of fall into this election as if it's, like, not a big deal. As if it's not, like, the fucking end of democracy. As if it's not the beginning of a new fascist state. If it's not the beginning of communist / Russia, China, superpower rule of the world. If it's not, as if it's not the end of women's autonomy over their own bodies, as if it's not the end of the Constitution. I mean, it's fucking insane. It's fucking insane that even 5% of this country would vote for Trump, let alone 40 whatever percent. It's fucking insane. Okay? Like, this is not a Republican or Democrat thing. I would happily vote for many Republicans, and I have voted for Republicans. But this is not about that. This is about having a democracy, living in a world where freedom is still something that is considered a right. It's about living in a world where the United States is still a country that has respect. It's about whether we can pass on to our children and our grandchildren some semblance of a decent country. Like, we're literally going to elect a complete psychopathic, grotesque, clearly mentally ill, cruel, criminal, fraudster, rapist. I mean, it's fucking insane. I mean, like, what is try and listen to the sort of, like, Trump supporter side of things, and some of them are my friends and family and people I love, but I don't understand it. Like, here's what they say, I think, right? Well, you should vote for Trump because of inflation. But it's like, what? It's like, yeah, inflation has kind of sucked. But the U.S. has had the smallest inflation of any Western country in the world. And the inflation was not caused by Biden. It was caused by COVID and supply chains being backed up. And that's why all the European countries and other democracies in the world have had much worse inflation. And ours is almost recovered. So the fact that even though we had the best response to inflation in the world, like, that's not enough. That's a reason to vote for Trump, is because, yes, we've had the best inflation response in the world, but we want better than the best inflation response in the world. And so we're willing to give up women's reproductive rights and gay rights and trans rights and democracy and the Constitution and the rule of law. What? So that's, like, the first thing. It's completely bewildering. And then the second thing is, like, well, the border. I mean, it's like, sure, the border's a mess. It's been a mess for 20 years. It was a mess under Trump. The border crossings were greater under Trump's last year than they are now. And if Trump cared about the border, then why would he killed the conservative-written, bipartisan border bill endorsed by the Border Patrol? Why would he killed that bill? What was it, 5 months ago? He killed the bill. He killed the strongest border protection bill we've ever fucking had. Why? Because he wanted to run on the issue. So you really believe that guy who killed the best border protection bill we've ever had, and you can just look it up, it's James Lankford's bill, Lankford from Oklahoma. So you trust That's a real issue for him. Even though he killed that bill for his own power. And by the way, the border situation's gotten much, much better in the last year. And Kamala proposes to reenact that bill. So if that's your real concern, then let her reenact the fucking bill written by James Langford, one of the most conservative Republicans in the fucking country. So I don't buy that, well, we can give up women's rights and gay rights and trans rights, and we can fuck the environment, and we can let Russia and China become the superpowers of the world, throw out the Constitution for this border thing, of which Trump has just been a clown. And then what's the other thing? Oh, we don't like the wokeness. We don't like the wokeness. Trump will get rid of the wokeness. Like, what's all that about? Yeah, it's like, sure. Like, I get it. Sometimes people are too woke. I mean, like, I teach at a university. I get it. I have lots of really, really liberal friends. Sometimes they're too woke. Sometimes it's like, stop the pronoun thing. Like, or just, like, chill out about it a bit. Like, we don't have to define everybody by some particular identity and, like, who is the greatest victim or who's the most oppressed person. Like, I get that. Most liberals get that. They don't want to do that either. No one does. It's not actually a real problem. But if you listen to Trump and the right wing, it's like there's this woke communist crowd about to take over the country. Like, that's not true. Like, come to a woke state. Like, I live in, like, Massachusetts, and you're not going to experience that. Like, come to the most woke place. Go to New York. And, like, hang out with regular people. That's not really a problem. Like, you think this, like, little thing about people being, like, a little too sensitive is, like, that one issue is so big that you're happy to throw away the Constitution, the rule of law. You're happy to support an insurrectionist. You're happy to throw away America's lead in the world and give it over to Russia and China? Like, are you fucking kidding me? So what else is it? What else is it? We have more job creation now than under Trump. The economy is stronger. The stock markets are stronger. We have much better protection of our environment for our kids and our grandkids. We've secured our place, our central position amongst the world powers. We've realigned NATO in defense against total tyrants, murderous war criminals. Like, the country is in a much better place holistically than it was under Trump. I mean, all Trump did was just deregulate fucking everything so we could have this sort of, like, cocoa burst of fun for, like, a year where everything was deregulated. And it didn't even really improve the economy because it was, like, basically the same fucking economy as it was under Obama, which was good. But instead of protecting our economy in the long term, he created these bubbles by deregulating everything and giving over all this power to the most powerful elites in the country, so that for a few years, the economy was the same as it was under Obama. Like, it wasn't better. And then it crashed. Of course, it fell completely to pieces because there was no preparation for a pandemic like COVID. And then it was Biden who brought back a resurging economy. So I just don't get, like, any real serious defense of this war criminal, rapist, fraudster, Trump. I just don't get it at all. And if I were conservative, and I respect conservatives, some of them quite a bit, they're concerned about the Constitution. Trump wants to suspend the Constitution. He said that online. You can look it up. You can hear him saying it. It's not conservative. Conservatives want to make our federal deficit smaller. They want to shrink it. They want to eliminate it. Trump expanded our federal deficit more than any other president. Look it up. Look it up. He doesn't care about shrinking our spending at all. And he did not diminish our federal deficit. He expanded, he bloated it. So he's not conservative. What's he conservative on? The fact that he's mean? Is that a conservative value? That he's mean? That he says horrible, racist things about immigrants? I don't think that's a real conservative value. That's just a shitty fucking bullshit fascist value. So, like, what is good about Trump?